Joey Mulinaro, who is a Tuesday regular from Barstool Sports.
Bye.
Joe, you're an entertainer, a comedian by trade. Where's your stir-crazy meter at right now, being quarantined in week 2?
Good morning, fellas. It's about, I don't want to give too much of a sneak peek about what are the projects I'm working on here, but I just had somebody voice over a Morgan Freeman Shawshank Redemption bit because I feel like I'm Andy Dufresne and I'm just stuck inside with these walls. So that's to come, but yeah, it's getting pretty bad up here.
Well, not only are you stuck inside, Joey, but like I guess before this all went down, you were under the expectation that you were about to be moving to New York City, right? Like the Big Apple, energy, juice, all these things, and now you're still in Indy.
Yeah, no, it's like May or June we were about to move out to New York, and now that's the last place on the earth that anybody should be going to. So quite the transition from going to that to now we're like, well, I guess at some point we'll move out there, but right now we're just hunkering down, man.
Joe, one of the experiences we didn't get the chance to talk to you about and dive into was the Combine experience. Obviously, Indy is the home of the Combine every year. You're from Indianapolis. You kind of talked on social media about the experience of being from there and like seeing the NFL just come into your city for a week every year. But the Saints brought you in to do some impressions, and one of the ones that stuck was Sean Payton. How's that relationship kind of fostered, and how did that come to be?
Yeah, so I get an email about a month out from the Combine. So probably late January or something, and it's saying, "Hey, we follow your stuff, love your stuff. Want you to come to dinner with us. We have a dinner that we do every year with our staff at the Combine in Indy. So go to this fancy steakhouse, Prime 47 is where they go, and we'll have dinner with you, with the entire staff, and then perform for us." And so I was like, man, okay, this will be interesting because I know they're going to want me to do a Sean Payton impersonation. But here's the deal about Sean Payton. He talks just like everybody, like he's the most basic football coach in the world.
Look,
right?
listen,
like,
look.
That's
listen,
it. That's
yeah.
it. Listen.
Look.
Yeah. He's real hard to nail down. Like it's like every football coach that would be cast in like a Friday Night Lights type of movie or show. That's essentially who Sean Payton is.
Right.
So I worked for like a month trying to get him down, and so I go in there in front of the whole freaking staff, Sean Payton, Mickey Loomis, everybody, the whole shebang.
Bro.
Dude, that'd be scary. Yeah. That'd be really scary.
I got third-hand
Joey.
anxiety right now.
I got pit stains going on.
They send me a Saints quarter zip and a Saints visor so I can at least have kind of a look like Sean Payton. And they take me out from the room, and then they bring me in as if I'm like, the jester for the night. You know what I mean? Like, bring me up to the front of the room, and they
now dance.
Me, and they're, everybody's expecting this killer Sean Payton. Okay, and so I start into Sean Payton for like 10 seconds and just crickets, dude. Just absolute crickets.
Oh no, my stomach. I feel so uncomfortable.
I know. So from that point on, the improv in me takes over, and I joke about how I was like kind of getting into Saban, so I bounced to Saban for a second, and that gets him a little bit, and then I start just, instead of impersonating Sean Payton, I just start roasting him. he's sitting directly to my left, so instead of like impersonating him, I just start like going after him about like his squinty eyes and how like his play sheet is so big and like all this kind of stuff. But other than that, after the first like 10 seconds when I bombed on the Peyton impersonation, I think I recovered pretty nicely.
And they fell in love with you, right? Dude. Like the relationship continues.
Yeah, for sure. No, after. So I know we're planning, hopefully, God willing, this November we can be down there for LSU Bama.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, you're going to be down there for that. Hopefully we play a home game on the next day. Just make the drive from Baton Rouge to New Orleans, and we'll host you there for a game at the Superdome. Nice. So I sat with Dennis Allen. I sat with Phil, the new special teams coach. Me and my wife did. And they were all super, super nice, and we're like, yeah, man, come back. We want to do it again. So it was great.
Oh, good recovery, Joey. I mean, that is like,
Well, that's the sign of a great entertainer, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
you got to recognize the room and see that this ain't working. I got to get out of here and get comfortable. I mean,
and that's the deal. Is like I knew going in, I was like, okay, because for the 3 weeks leading up to it, I was like, I don't really have a great Payton. I have the squint, I have the lips, I have maybe one word, and I'm not going to be able to pull this off great. So I was like preparing myself right for a backup plan. But then, yeah, like you said, after that, and then after I roasted him, I was like, okay, I got him a little bit, and then I got into my usual ones, and they all liked those. So all was well.
nice. Joey Mulinaro joining us here, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Of course, he's from Barstool Sports. How's that relationship working during the downtime? We see the content always coming out, and we were all fired up when you got hired from Barstool. Now, I mean, it feels like you're a real employee over there. How's it been since settling in?
Yeah, man. I mean, besides just having all my videos be the same backdrop of my apartment, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like people are just getting to know the area so well because I can't go anywhere, obviously, and my wife gets super pissed if there's anything, like, in the background at all. I mean, it's like you got to make sure that she'll be filming something for me, and then we'll have to take, like, a 10-minute break to clear out the sink or the area behind me so she's, like, not getting judged online about a messy home or anything like that. No, but it's going really well, man. It's just like super, I mean, it's almost like a Seinfeld or like Curb Your Enthusiasm episode of like the day or the week that I start. It just so happens to go into like a national emergency breakdown. The happiest moment of my career or life just so happens to turn out to be like 100 years from now when we're talking about the coronavirus. So that's been a little tough to balance, but I think it's going all right.
Chill with your Rays, man. The world's on lockdown, right?
Yeah, for what it's worth,
yeah,
Joey,
yeah.
I've been attacking the stack. Every time I'm doing the dishes, I'm thinking about that stupid play-by-play video of breaking down the dishes. So thank you for that. Now,
gotta attack the stack. Yeah,
I'm going to ask you to bring in
Attack the stack.
Coach Mike Leach, obviously. Right now, Tiger King is everywhere. Mike Leach, one of the most unique is redundant, but a unique personality among coaches. I'm sure that he's seen Tiger King, and I have one question that's on everybody's mind. Coach Leach, did Carol Baskin kill her husband and feed him to tigers?
Well, I don't think there's any question about that. When you look at the evidence that was proposed in the show, let alone with what she said about putting sardine oil on somebody and feeding them to the big cats. I mean, the show really, when you think about it, shouldn't be called Tiger King. It should probably be called Tiger Queen. With her running the show down there and all her big cats, and her husband's the biggest simp I've ever seen. I found out what simp means. Had downtime to find out what simp means during this quarantine, and I'd say you put a leash around your neck on the day of your wedding. I mean, unless that's in the honeymoon suite, then we got some problems.
Did Joe Exotic get a bad rap, Mike? What do you think? Does he deserve to be in jail right now?
It's tough to say. I've gone back and forth quite a few times with this one. Joe Exotic, obviously a guy of, a guy of great trouble, I'd say. But, when you look at it, he kind of brought it on himself. I mean, when you get your employee that gets her arm bit off and you're most concerned about losing financial, resources in that situation, I mean, that's not the best guy. I would like to give credit to Coach Orgeron down there. I'd say that right now he's probably the real Tiger King, if I had to say so myself. I give credit, and I'm trying to be nice as I enter the SEC here, but if I had to say Joe Exotic deserved it, I'd probably give it a 10 out of 10 on the deserved scale for that guy.
Who's better with the ladies, you or Lane Kiffin?
What's that?
Who's better with the ladies, you or Lane Kiffin? Who's going to win the real Egg Bowl, if you catch my drift?
Well, I'd say when you look at a situation like that, Lane Kiffin may be better looking in the traditional sense of the phrase.
So good.
But I would say that it's not about what you're showing on the outside; it's about what you're packing underneath. And I don't have any question about who will win that battle.
Coach Leach, tell Joey we love him. We'll talk to you next week.
You got it. All right, see you guys.
All right, ladies. Swing your sword, Coach.